aware of a lot with Manu. And now to your point, like and I think the thumbprint that David Stern initiated and Adam Silver has continued in the attention, like with Basketball Without Borders and now the league that they're talking about, it's a no-brainer. It is a no-brainer, and I think that it's just a tipping point. But if you made me say, is it emerging or has it arrived? I think it's at the base level, the ground level of arriving.
Coach, you've got the best record.
We're going to take a look at this breakdown. Hot and cold. Sixers home versus away. It is startling when you look at their record. 22-2 at home, 9-17 away. You guys can break down the rest of those numbers. But, gentlemen, when we're talking about a higher caliber team, right, someone who's supposed to be atop their conference, the rule of thumb has always been you have to be at least 500 on the road. Am I right? 9-17 is not close.
When you're 9-17 and you're the 6th seed, that means at some point in the playoffs, you got to win a game on the road. Mm-hmm. That don't bode well for this team because they have been Jekyll and Hyde. You can't be 22-2 with all this talent and people picking you to go to the Eastern Conference Finals and then be 9-17 and the 6th seed.
Right.
Okay? It's one thing if you're the number 2 seed or number 1 seed and you have a bad road record because you get 4 games at home every series.
True.
But in this case, if they finish up at 5th or 6th, they're going to start the playoffs on the road. So at some point, they better figure out how to start winning games on the road against good teams because guess what? As a 6th seed, you are going to play a good team.
Sam, let me start off here. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Yep. Game 7. Big-time shot, big-time game. You come back.
Second round.
Second round. Second round. You add Al Horford, and this team has been together. Toronto loses who they lost. Boston loses. The Miami Heat, take your hat off to them. Indiana Pacers, no Victor Oladipo to the last 2 games ago. Mm-hmm. And you're the 6th seed. And yes, Joel Embiid been out a few games.
But you got Al Horford as the backup.
There's no way they should be the 6th seed right now.
No, I agree.
Now, going forward right now, it's time now to make up some ground. You got to get to home court. We thought you should be at least 1, 2, or 3.
I thought 2. 1 or 2.
I'm with you. But you got to get to 4 now.
Yeah.
You got to get to 4, or you're going to have to do something miraculous in the playoffs when it's stacked against you when you don't have home court. And also, you're a fragile team. There are some teams, Sam, you say, they haven't been going well, but when they get it right, I feel they got a chance. This team, what is right? That's the part I'm having problems with. What is right? What's the right style? Who's the go-to player? Can they defend at a level when they can't score, they can win games? I got too many question marks right now for the Philadelphia 76ers for me to say I'm all in. Because I was all in before the season.
Was too.
I picked them going to the finals.
Well, Smitty, what concerns me is when I listen to Brett talk about post touches or paint touches or whatever he was talking about, you got Joel Embiid, who in our estimation, now again, we're not there every day, so maybe we're missing something. Maybe because we're not in practice, we're not in the meetings and shoot around things of that nature. But when I watch Joel Embiid play from 17 feet in, no one can guard him. I mean, he is a dominant player, and to me, again, no one's saying he shouldn't be allowed to take some threes. But every time he takes a three-point shot, whether he makes it or not, he's bailing out the defense because when he has a foot in that paint, you know this, Smitty, we played against dominant guys like that. You got to send the team back. You got to trap, you got to rotate, and what it does, it opens up things for guys like Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons and all those other guys and Richardson. But if you're going to sit there and play 5 out, and dive and cut to the basket and not use Joel Embiid that way, then you better make a lot of jump shots. Because that's what you're saying right now. And this Philadelphia team in the 6th seed, they haven't played consistent enough. And to Smitty's point, what's their style? We don't know.
Well, that's the question because Joel Embiid is supposed to be the go-to person, right? Smitty, you had that question. Who is the go-to person? His last game, he was 1 for 11 from the field. And he's had games where he has not scored double digits this season. How can that work?
Well, and the reason why I say that, he's the best player. And I love Ben Simmons. But Ben Simmons is playing better than Joel Embiid.
Right.
But talent-wise, he's an unstoppable force when he's right. When there's no Joel Embiid, they get out and run. And I'm not saying they win or lose. I just know what they are.
They play a different pace.
They play a different style, different pace. But with Joel Embiid and in half-court basketball when it slows down, I don't know their signature. And it could be just defend. I'm okay with that,
Yes.
Sam. If you're just going
If
to
they
go out
do
there
it.
and defend.
You can win a championship
you
in
can
this
win
league
this
playing great D.
and yes. So I'm waiting to see for this team who I thought going to be a lockdown. They're good, but they're not a lockdown can win games when the offense is bad, defensive team, in my opinion, right now.
And Smitty, to your point, they got to decide who they want to be. Look, you have a chance to compete for a championship, okay? But you got to determine as a team, what do you want to hang your hat on? Is it offense or defense? To me, it should be the D. Because they're so inconsistent with their offense, because they don't have a rhyme or reason to it. Certain teams you play, look, like Houston or not, you know what Houston's going to do. They're going to take 53
Right.
if they
We're
can.
going to beat you offensively.
Yeah, you know the Lakers, pick and roll, Anthony Davis, LeBron, we know. Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers, Milwaukee, we know. We don't know how the Clippers beat you. I mean, the 76ers beat you because every night is something different.
Right.
And then depending on if Joel's in the lineup, if Joel's out the lineup, they got to find something to hang their hat on. And to Smitty's point, to my point, we think it should be defense.
I think most people would agree with you. That's what I think. That's
It
what
travels.
That's what they thought it was going to be when the season started. All right, we'll have more on the warm-up. In fact, we're going to have Ask the Analyst. So, gentlemen,
Okay, there we
get
go.
They
yourselves
finally
ready.
changed my suit. Thank you.
Have questions for Steve Smith and Sam Mitchell? Well, they've got answers.
Man, my
us out.
mom was asking, son, do you have a change of clothes?
Oh my goodness. Find us on Twitter.
Only
at
the underwear,
NBA
mama.
TV.
Only the underwear clean.
Goran Dragic. He used to be an All-Star. He was not named one this year, but the Miami Heat have two other All-Stars, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. We'll have more right here on the warm-up.